It looks like Arsenal is turning out to be the scouting department of Chelsea. Whichever player Arsenal is scouting, Chelsea is like, can we try him out on? And Bruno Guimarães to Arsenal transfer hijack story is what you're obviously going to be doing in here for you. Third video of the day in here for you. So we are powered by Think Landscaping, dealers in designing, planning, and transforming your outdoor spaces. If at all you feel like you have an outdoor space that needs to be transformed, please do the needful and really put in a very huge shift, and always go ahead and obviously contact them on those numbers, and the rest will be history in there for you. You love what they'll do for you, and you'll enjoy it to the fullest, I tell you, because it's Think Landscaping, and they will do the best for you. They'll beautify it and give it a lasting and give it what we call a lasting value in there for you. So let's obviously head into these stories, but continue to subscribe to see to it that we hit 30,000 subscribers, guys. Please do the needful and really subscribe. Now, we do have a correspondent from Chelsea, and close guy for Chelsea. He came up and told us the following, that Chelsea are now considering the possibility of signing Bruno Guimarães. Currently, Guimarães is close to joining Arsenal. Now, when you hear such a story, what crosses your mind? Morgan Rogers situation, right? Morgan Rogers situation, because Morgan Rogers was close to joining a team known as Arsenal. You get? And you're all being told that Arsenal are the favorites. Arteta has convinced the player to come in through and really do a very big job for the side of Arsenal. There for you. Aston Villa obviously wanted to sell, and they wanted to sell to the biggest bidder. And guess who the biggest bidder was? When that came to pass, it was all about Chelsea in there for you. And now Chelsea looks like they're like, we can bully Arsenal again and obviously sign a Bruno Guimarães. And obviously, when you see to it that Chelsea is interested in Bruno Guimarães, it sends you a message that Enzo Fernandez can be a variable there for you. And if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm like, all right, Bruno Guimarães to Chelsea, can they get us Enzo? Or Enzo wants to go to Real Madrid, you know? And what can make an Arsenal fan worry about the story of Enzo Fernandez or the deal of Enzo Fernandez is the amount of money involved, 120 million pounds in there for you. And they are still struggling to obviously meet the 80 million valuation for Newcastle for Bruno Guimarães. So we are waiting to see how this grows. But Chelsea is considering a possibility of obviously doing the needful, bringing Bruno Guimarães. And I'm like, what are they dying for? They are playing the Premier League one game a week. They are not in Europe. And you're having Moise Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, Enzo Fernandez, though he's on the blink of leaving Chelsea in there for you. But I tell you what, it's really one of those stories that went ahead, obviously shocked me, that after coming and hijacking the deal of Morgan Rogers, Chelsea is in to hijack the deal of Bruno Guimarães, having reported that they've gone ahead to agree personal terms. And it worries Arsenal fans all over the world, because even the deal of Morgan Rogers, stories were put outside there indicating that they had already gone ahead to agree personal terms with Morgan Rogers. And where did Morgan Rogers end up to? He ended up at a team known as Chelsea in there for you. And Chelsea has the money. Even if Newcastle calls in for 100 million pounds, Chelsea will be like, yes, we do have the money. What are you gonna do? You understand? So then Ekrem Konate has obviously also added beef to this story, and he has said the following, that Chelsea have shown interest in Newcastle United midfielder Bruno Guimarães and could make another approach. Arsenal also want the Brazilian, who is reportedly ready to leave Newcastle for the Premier League champions. Newcastle value Bruno Guimarães at 80 million pounds, while Arsenal recently offered 70 million pounds. Now, this global transfer expert has come up and said that Chelsea have shown interest in Newcastle midfielder Bruno Guimarães and could make an approach. Obviously, it resonates in well with the side known as Ekrem Konate. Sorry, with the side known as the other guy who came up and obviously said that Chelsea are interested in this player. So You have to ask yourself, why are Chelsea going in for Bruno Guimarães? The answer is they want to be the kings of London. And if you are not in, if you're not in the Champions League, there are things you should do to obviously be in the news and the media, because you are Chelsea, you are not Arsenal, you are not Manchester United. So you have to do a lot to put yourself in the topic of discussion. And such stories might not be true. And Chelsea might be like they are throwing a stone in the bush to see what comes out. You understand? So if I'm Bruno Guimarães, I'm turning 29 in November this year. Why would I consider going to a team known as Chelsea? Indeed. Because are they going to compete for the trophy? Maybe yes, maybe not. But for Arsenal, it is a team that has been built to obviously come up and obviously win very many games in there for you. So I think if I'm Bruno Guimarães, I choose Arsenal over Chelsea. For Morgan Rogers, I understand he's just 23, 24 years of age, turning I think 24 this year. So if Chelsea buy him or sell a project to him that they are looking out for a person who will put out the best of the best performances, then he can be like 2-3 seasons in, I might be the next big superstar at Chelsea. So let me give them a chance. Bruno Guimarães is 29, is turning 29 this year. No reason to give a team like Chelsea a chance. He needs to get into a team like Arsenal and play alongside Declan Rice or Martin Zubimendi or Miles Lewis-Skelly or Mikel Merino and see how things will obviously pan out. So I 100% feel like the deal will go to Chelsea. Sorry, Bruno Guimarães will go to a team known as Arsenal. Then Alex Crook went ahead to obviously tell us something about this deal, that Chelsea are not expected to enter the race for Bruno Guimarães. Arsenal focus on trying to close the deal. Now, Alex Crook, another credible journalist from England, is telling us that Chelsea are not expected to enter the race for Bruno Guimarães. I understand. They are not expected to enter the race for Bruno Guimarães. Now, which is which? Let me tell you this. If you're the agent of Bruno Guimarães and you want to secure your deal, and you want to obviously see Arsenal speed up this transfer, what do? You obviously come up and tell people that Chelsea is interested, because Chelsea might have gone ahead, obviously make a genuine approach and an inquiry, and they're like, if you put out the money and meet the expectations of Newcastle, is the player willing to obviously come to us? Because the player is the most important person of this. If the player is like, I'm not interested, there is no way the player will obviously find himself in a position of really agreeing a Chelsea deal. And I think even before they went ahead to launch a very huge bid of 117 million pounds on the table of Aston Villa, they first got the assurance from the player that, please come to us and you'll see magic this side. And he said, all right, Arsenal is dilly-dallying, playing an L game. Let me obviously try it out, Xabi Alonso. You understand? And for Bruno Guimarães, maybe Kota could have gone ahead to be there, but my mind tells me the agent is like, after being hijacked off a player known as Morgan Rogers, Arsenal, if you want to see them speed up this, what story do you put out in the media? The same team that hijacked Morgan Rogers from you is trying to hijack another deal of yours. You understand? So that will obviously help Arsenal be the do the quick game. You understand? So all I want to understand is where is this story coming in from? Chelsea sources are saying there is a possibility that Chelsea could go in. And it's obviously very important to note the English words that have been used in this story. There is a possibility. Have you heard all of those? There is a possibility. Now, if there is a possibility, you obviously have to come in here and ask yourself, why didn't they write, Chelsea are interested in a player and are willing to go gung-ho to obviously get the deal done and dusted? It looks like this is an agent cook up to see to it that a team known as Arsenal really acts right and speeds up this transfer, because he wants to really secure a deal for a man known as Bruno Guimarães. Now, let's wait and see how things pan out, and let's go to Argentina a little bit. And we do have Nicolas Otamendi coming up and obviously retiring from international football and will not play for Argentina anymore. Part of the team that went ahead to win the World Cup in Qatar, part of the team that lost the World Cup final in the US America. So, I understand he's old enough, no need to keep kicking the ball. When you look at Otamendi, he's 38 years of age and is like saying bye-bye to the Argentine national team. He also said, I think, bye-bye, was it to Benfica, where he was playing? Benfica. He played there for 3 seasons, from 2023 to 2024 up to 2025, 2026. And he averaged 30 games per season, by the way. And he was really a very good defender. He's out of the Argentine national team and he's like, please, Cristiano Romero and Lisandro Martinez, you've come up and proven that you are the right guys to obviously play in the central defense. In most of the games in the World Cup that was recently concluded in the US, he came off the bench. Lisandro Martinez and Cristiano Romero looked good in that centre-back pairing for Argentina. That is it. So guys, thank you very much for checking through. Rokani David remains my name. Please do the needful and let me your thoughts about Bruno Guimarães to Arsenal transfer. Hijack, clarity, a welcome in the comment section below. And a man known as Otamendi Nicolas hanging up his boots for the national team. Where is he going to be playing his next club football from? We're here waiting to hear from the man himself. I'm out. Bye-bye.